Hello there, everybody. Tuning in. I'm a little bit late. Sometimes that happens. Hopefully, you guys like the lighting a little bit better. It should be better quality in here because we got more light coming in for the camera. So moving into that, I'm going to start doing our readings. And yeah, we'll go from there. So let me get this going here. And we're just going to be doing some shuffles. Hello, Lamantic. I have a hard time with that name, but I remember you. I will just call you LR. How are you doing? And I'm doing good too. Thank you for asking. All right, we're just going to shuffle, get things ready to go here. Be looking at February 16th. Just took a little break for a while. I've been doing some teaching and kind of was just taking a break from everything for a while. So definitely something I needed to do, kind of get back to center. I get burned out pretty easy, so I try to take breaks when I can and then come back when I'm feeling a little better. Not ideal for YouTube, but hopefully you guys can understand. One more shuffle for these ones, then I'll go to the other deck here. These cards are very, very big. I mean, one card is, pretty big compared to the size of my face. I've either got a small face or these are big cards. You guys can choose. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's do this here. Move this over. All right, let's get these ones shuffled. And we will come straight into some readings here. Okay, let's do 2 more shuffles. And we'll go from there. One more. Okay. All right, so February 17th's energy. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and then let's draw a card over here. Okay, so we get emotional freedom here in reverse. And then we also have the Hanged Man in reverse, okay? So normally, again, it looks like that. The card that when it's upright, it looks upside down, and when it's upside down, it looks like it's upright. So these two cards here, the Hanged Man is about seeing things from different perspectives, right? If it's in reverse, we're refusing to see something in a different perspective. If we have emotional freedom in reverse, we're refusing to let something go that we need to move on, okay? So again, it's a healing journey. That's kind of the whole deal. If we're focusing on healing and we're focusing on emotional mastery, sometimes we have to look at something from a different way. Maybe different forms of media can be our way of looking at that. Different movies, different ways, books, art sometimes can help us look at things differently. But letting other things come in to help you to look at things differently is definitely something that we need starting tomorrow, right? There can be things that happen that we need to allow ourselves to look and to really harness that energy, okay? So I'm going to draw some more cards here, but for now, that seems to be the lesson for February 17th. Again, that's tomorrow. I do this a day in advance, so because right now, February 16th is kind of halfway over, so that's why I do it that way. If there's any questions, feel free to post them, or you guys can say hello. Besides LR that's been active in the chat, you guys can feel free to jump in too, but that's what I'm getting for right now. Okay, so let's look at some other cards here. I'll draw, let's do 2 more of the, so I'm using these decks too, and I'll say these in the start of these videos. So I'm using the True Black Tarot, okay? Very, very good deck. I love this deck. And then I'm using this one here. This is the True Love Readings Tarot. Okay. So if we're focusing on love questions, these are good ones to have. But in this case, I'm just using these as general cards, but absolutely they can be used for the love readings too. So actually, you guys give me just a second here. I'm going to light an incense. So hold on. Okay. It's snowing here pretty good. I don't know if it's snowing where you guys are at, but here it's snowing pretty good, and snow is always kind of a nice thing. Always nice to have a little bit of snow. All right, so let's draw some more of these cards here. The True Black Tarot. Let's jump into it. Oh, one of my favorite cards. And this one's really good too. So, all right, so what we're looking at tomorrow, the 17th, apart from looking at things differently, moving into a place of emotional freedom, letting ourselves speak and be emotionally free. Now, what that means is that we're taking responsibility for our sense of self-expression. Not that we're making others take responsibility for our sense of expression, because it's us, it's our way of expressing. And so we have to be responsible with that, right? So what I get is this. On top of it, we get Temperance, okay? Beautiful card. One of my favorites. It's in reverse, but I'm trying to get it so you guys can see. It's a very, very pretty card. So Temperance in reverse is about not having balance, okay? Which is what we've been talking about. And then I get the Two of Cups, also in reverse. So tomorrow could be a very emotionally heavy day, specifically if there's a partner. There could be some disagreements. It's like fire and ice kind of an energy, where one person could very much be thinking they're right and the other person's wrong. And once you've kind of locked yourself into that mindset, it's hard to let the other person speak, right? Because emotions are on the line. Like this one says, emotional freedom. Some people think the best way to have emotional freedom is to squash the emotions of others or to control the emotions of others, when in turn that's a false sense of security. That's not real. It's kind of like how a dictator takes over and says, I want people to fear me, not love me, kind of a situation. So there could be some control situations going on in the emotional way, which makes it a little difficult moving forward here. So and also Temperance is a Sagittarius card too. So there could be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising sign that could be coming in here. But that's what I'm seeing so far. I'm doing good, Cold Rain. How are you? And so that's what I'm getting so far. It's definitely emotion. Emotion, emotion, emotion. And if that's something that we're looking at, which I think it is, then we could also look at the mental landscape and see how we're feeling mentally tomorrow. So let's draw a card and see how that's going, because this right now has strictly been emotional. So we get the Star card in reverse. Yes, I'm absolutely doing very well. Thank you. And thank you for watching. So the Star card in reverse, okay? That's what this one is. And this is what it looks like upright. Again, very beautiful card. So the Star card is an Aquarius card. It's an air sign, but that also deals with thought, right? The air signs deal with thought. That's something that we have going forward. So when we're looking at Aquarius in reverse, it could be hoping for a situation to change. And mentally, it could be looking for ways for us to change the situation. Where I see this in reverse, though, it feels like there's a lack of hope of things changing. It feels like things don't feel as flowy as they could be, right? So my thought is, especially for this day, again, we check in with ourselves. We make sure we're doing all right. as much as we can. Some days it's hard. Some days we need to be much more gentle than we normally are. But that's what I'm seeing here. So guys, let's be gentle moving into this, and let's take it for what it is and not what it could be, right? Because we need to live in the present moment. When we're looking at the day for what it could possibly be, we're living in the future. We're not allowing ourselves to be in the present moment. So let's look at the day for what it is and go from there and expand that out, because the present moment is the only moment we're living in. So yeah. Is there any questions so far, you guys? And yeah, absolutely. Present moment it's the only thing we can do, is be in the present moment and give presence to the moment, give it the appreciation that it deserves. Present moment is about attention and giving it that. So, and there's a saying that goes like this: yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is called the present because it's a gift, right? And I think I said that right. I heard it first on Kung Fu Panda, so I'm not quite sure, but anyway, that's something that I really resonated with, and I like that quote a lot. So yeah, definitely something we can do. Present moment. Okay, so I'll take these cards here and I'll start shuffling, and we can do some more stuff here, but that's what I'm seeing. Again, that's for February 17th. All right. Okay. And let's shuffle. Oh, got one more card out here. Yeah, definitely a good time to be just in the present moment and not trying to turn it into anything else. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part about being human. We always want to turn something into something else, especially if it's uncomfortable. Instead of observing it for what it is, let's just say if it's a bad day, let's just say it's a bad day. Is that so bad, right? Because this sense of everything having to be positive all the time makes it so that we can't express ourselves fully if we're having a bad day. We're trying to numb ourselves. Again, that's coming from my perspective. If you guys don't agree, completely understand. But at least for me, that's where I feel like I'm at with that. All right, let's shuffle these cards here. And then here in a minute, we can do a little bit of some different energy work here, focusing on possibly doing some energy healing, or focusing on just being in the moment. We can do a little bit of a meditation if you guys would be interested in that. I try to give everything that I can during this time, help people feel comfortable, help people feel more at ease, right? Because the day can be rather stressful, but hopefully when you come here, it feels a little more calm. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, so this will be for the 18th coming up, so February 18th. I see us still holding on, okay? This card comes up all the time, so I'll show you guys here in just a second. So we have the Sacred Woman in reverse. Again, when I'm doing these readings for you guys, I keep getting the same cards. Even though I shuffle and I shuffle, I always get these same cards. Sacred Woman in reverse, and this is what it looks like upright, so you guys can see. Very beautiful cards. I really like them. And then we have the Three of Swords, the Hermit in reverse, and then Judgment in reverse. Okay, so to me, when I see these cards, I feel like we're looking at not protecting our sense of space. Okay, it's again going into that emotional freedom that we're looking at, or rather not going into it because this is in reverse. Okay, and when I see the Three of Hearts, we're looking at something that could be heartbreaking. So I feel like we know that there's something that needs to be done, maybe in a spiritual way, maybe in just a way of like getting something done, getting something off our chest. There's something we need to do. There's something we need to say. There's something that requires our attention and therefore our action. Okay. So when I see the Judgment card in reverse and I see the Hermit in reverse, we're definitely needing time for ourselves. And I feel like it's a desperate need of time for ourselves, but we're either denying ourselves the ability to give time to ourselves, or something keeps happening to interrupt our me time. And that's something that I feel like definitely needs to be, well, again, something we focus on, right? We can't have it where we're not allowing ourselves to be with ourselves. It's like we're ignoring the call for something. That's the best way I can think to put it. And hold on here. But yeah, so it's up to you guys what do you want to do going forward. But remember, if you're ignoring something, if you're ignoring the call for something and it's something you do need to do, such as taking some alone time, doing something like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous art. I love it. And thank you, Denise, for coming in. Yeah, I started. I did one video yesterday, and now I'm doing this one. So, and I'm doing very well. Things are good. How have you been doing, Denise? But make sure, guys, again, make sure to give yourself time. Give yourself time and the ability to let things happen the way they need to, but let yourself relax. Let yourself have a day, especially if you feel like you're on the verge of burning out. When I see the Three of Swords, it feels like a day. Tomorrow and the day after do feel like days where maybe we take our foot off the accelerator for a couple days to sort of gain back our sense of self, right? We can't be 100% all the time. In fact, I would say be a gradual 40% instead of being 100% for 3 hours a day and then being down for 3 days. Let yourself express how you want to feel and be who you want to be, but don't overdo it to the point where you're giving so much energy out and you're not getting anything back in return. I hope that makes sense, you guys, because that's something that I definitely believe in. So yeah. Okay, let's do this here and let's shuffle these, and then we'll do some pick a card readings here in just a second, and go from there. So let's see what we can do. I'll shuffle these and then we'll go from there. Good. Yeah, I can only imagine the remote learning situation must be difficult. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I did some teaching while I was away. I was gone for about 4 months, I think. And I did some teaching, and I've been doing Qigong and learning some martial arts. And yeah, so I've been a little bit busy, but hopefully I can come back and be doing these again for you guys. That's something that I think it's important to give back and to talk to you guys about stuff and hear what's going on in your lives too. So All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so basically doing a kind of going back and looking at things, we're going to be focusing on allowing ourselves to be emotionally expressive, allowing ourselves to be emotionally free, and also letting ourselves, if we're having a down day, if we're having a bad day, letting ourselves have a bad day. Don't try to turn it into something else. Don't try and forcefully be positive. Don't try and do anything. If it's a bad day, it's a bad day. Just be like, oh, this stinks, and let yourself go through that. Here in the United States especially, I feel like there's this toxic sense of positivity that kind of goes through people where we only express the light side and we don't allow ourselves to express the darker side. You know, to say today is bad, to say today isn't the funnest day. I feel like we're constantly putting on this face of like everything's fine, everything's good all the time, and it's not. And what's weird is that when you allow yourself to be unhappy, you also allow yourself to be happier when you are happier. So that's something, again, that's something I believe, because that's something I've learned myself personally. So yeah. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to do the pick a card readings here. Okay. And we'll do 1, 2, and 3 piles. So I've got one pile here. Okay, this will be the first pile. I got a second pile here, and then I got a third pile right over here. So if you guys want to type pile 1, 2, or 3, we can go into that, and that could be the energy you guys are experiencing or will be experiencing. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. If you guys want to type, you can let me know. If not, we'll just draw from the first pile. But I can wait for just a second here. So let's start with the first pile. All right, let's see what we have here. So the first pile we are looking at. So I see, okay, we'll do pile 2 next. I mean, we would have done it next anyway, but we'll do it next. So I've got maturity in reverse, or I've got maturity and commitment in reverse. Okay. So these two cards right here, we're definitely looking at going into a situation where I almost view this as it could be a fight in a marriage situation or in a partnership situation. Again, these are more true love tarot card readings, so it's more about that love energy. So this could just be fighting with your partner, or this could be refusing to see the other point of view from someone's perspective, right? And when I see commitment in reverse, it could just be that we're failing to commit ourselves to the relationship. We're failing to make ourselves available to the relationship or to learn something from the relationship. So that's what I'm seeing in pile 1. Okay, so pile 2, which is what Denise picked, we have the Silver Waterfall, okay, and Chivalry. And these cards here, we're definitely looking at, let's see. So the Silver Waterfall, I had this in reverse yesterday. So when I see it upright, we're looking at acting in a way where we're allowing ourselves to be expressive and to be free. So if you see right here, there's a woman underneath the waterfall, and the waterfall is giving abundance, and there's a lot of life, there's a lot of lush greenery around it. So that's showing that there's a sense of peace, there's a sense of contentment, and there's a life force to this area. So this right here is really good. To me, this feels like we're harnessing something inside of ourselves. And the emotional part, okay, the emotional part is something that can be expressed during this time, because the water is giving away its water freely, right? That's the whole thing. With water, it has to give itself away, because water by itself can't be appreciated. Water has to have something around it to enjoy it, to nurture it. Otherwise, there'd be no point in having water, right? It's there for a reason. It's there to be used, and it's there to be appreciated. So then we have this card, though. We have Chivalry in reverse. Okay, so Chivalry in reverse is a card where I feel like maybe we're feeling expressive, we're feeling strong, but maybe someone else in our life, or maybe even us, maybe we're being too pushy with how we're feeling, and we need to sort of reel that back a little bit. So part of this reading, we've talked about letting yourself express emotionally, right? But then the other part is knowing that there are boundaries. Just because we're expressing ourselves emotionally doesn't mean we get to dictate how other people feel with their own emotions. No, it's kind of a give and take, or learning boundaries. It would be the best way to put that. So chivalry in reverse is allow yourself to be emotionally free. Have that be something, but don't have someone else. Don't be doing anything else with that. So it's one of those things that you just have to be careful with how we express ourselves, right? So let yourself be expressive, but don't be over-expressive. Don't take over someone's energy and express yourself through it. Don't try to force someone to do something. Don't try to force anything like that. Okay, let things happen and unfold naturally. Again, this is advice. You don't have to do this, but that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, so then we have pile number 3. And we have so here's the Divine Feminine, okay, and it's upright. But this was actually in reverse, but it's upright here. I'm just showing you what the card looks like when it's upright. And then we have Resolving Conflict, okay? So the Divine Feminine in reverse, and then Resolving Conflict. I feel like this could be someone coming forth to apologize. Yeah, toxic positivity, absolutely. It's, to me, it's the number one, how would you put it? It's the number one thing that I feel like really hurts people is that toxic positivity, because it does nothing. It does nothing but breed a sense of my own emotions are invalid because everyone else has to be positive, and so do I, even if I'm not feeling that way. If I don't feel good, I don't feel good, right? So yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be expressed. And as a man, I've been told, basically the only appropriate emotions a man can show are anger and happiness, and anything else besides those two, it's bad. You can't show fear, you can't show sadness, you can't show softness, right? Because that's viewed as feminine, or as whatever people want to call it, sissy, I don't know, there's a lot of different words for it. But the sense of male expression needs to change, and toxic positivity has definitely not helped that. Okay, so like I said, Divine Feminine in reverse, and then we have Resolving Conflict. So definitely we're looking, a lot of these are saying kind of similar things, but this one is focusing on allowing the conflict to be resolved. However, I do see this in reverse, so there could be failure on your part to necessarily accept an apology to the best of a person's ability. Some people will apologize and it feels very heartfelt. Other people will apologize and it's not quite as heartfelt, but maybe it's the best they can do, right? And sometimes it's best to take the apology and just say in your mind, I appreciate the apology. I don't accept the behavior that happened because of it. And I'm going to judge you more now based on your actions than your words, right? Don't just take the apology and be like, everything's fine. If something's happened and you felt really wronged, eventually feel like you can bring it up again. But if it's a sensitive topic, let things sort of work their way through and then circle back around and talk about it when you feel like things have kind of cooled off a little bit, right? So again, that's what I feel like we should focus on for these cards. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back here. How is your how's your tooth feeling, Molly? Also, do that here. I'll shuffle these up again. We can go into a little bit of a meditation here in a second. Just looking over and seeing how my incense is doing over there. I like having something good smelling while I'm doing these readings. I am a Taurus after all, so it definitely have to have that, the smells. They help a lot, I think. help you feel a little more grounded, you know? Okay. Just moving stuff over, guys. Alrighty. Okay, so something we'll focus on now is we'll focus on bringing some energy into alignment. All right, so we're going to let ourselves be in the moment, and we're going to focus on letting ourselves feel that sense of peace. And the thing with feeling this is I want you to imagine it this way. I'll move my leg over so the table isn't constantly shaking. The best thing for us to do moving forward is for us to come from the heart space, right? So we have 3 chakras that go down. We have 3 about to say chocolates. Okay, we have 3 chakras come down, and maybe there's chocolates there somewhere, right? But we also have 3 chakras that come up, and then we have the heart in the middle, okay? And the heart is definitely the space where we can project out. We can project our sense of lovingness out. We can project that out. The way the chakras work, and this is interesting, at least to me, is the first one is earth, and it deals with being rooted, being grounded, and structure, right? The second chakra is about creative expression, sexual energy. It's about allowing yourself to be creative and expressive in a way where we're working on art, we're dancing, we're doing something, we have hobbies, we have interests, we have a way that the soul likes to express itself in some fashion, right? Singing, dancing, art, so many different ways. Photography, digital, anything digital, online design, anything like that. Fashion. Okay. Then we have the solar plexus. Okay, so the solar plexus is a little bit above the belly button, okay? And it doesn't matter if you have an innie or an outie. That's not important. Be weird if it was, right? Like, no. But so this right here is the willpower chakra. This is associated with fire. And a lot of times where we get lost in the spiritual community, again, this is my personal opinion, we have this fire energy. We have this willpower. A lot of times we take this fire energy and we try to light other people on fire with it. We try and force people to do things. We try and use our will to get things done, okay? So that's why it's important to focus on this right here, the heart chakra. So if this third chakra, which is yellow in color, it's the solar plexus chakra, is about control, right? It's about controlling something. It's about getting everything you can out of it and really forcing something, right? Then the fourth chakra is about letting go and having the thing happen, okay? We can't force something to work. I mean, we can, but ultimately we'll be doing more damage than good. If we're forcing anything, it's going to do more damage than good in the long run, okay? So this is about letting things go and being expressive. And then, so we have this, the third chakra is willpower. The fourth chakra is letting things grow and go, like realizing that we can let go of the handlebars of the bike and the kid's going to go down the driveway and they're going to do just fine, kind of a thing. Now then we move up to the throat chakra. Throat chakra is about expressing ourselves. It's about truth, it's about honesty, and it's about expression. Now, the way the throat chakra can get kind of clogged up is if we do this. So if I come up to someone and I say, my truth is the only truth, my truth is the only valid truth, and I try and force someone to listen to me and accept my opinion as fact no matter what, that closes the throat chakra down. For both people, in my opinion. There shouldn't be any forcing there. My truth is my truth. It's nobody else's but mine. Just like your truth is your truth. Things that we've been brought up, things that we've believed, those are our truths. Those are things, and we're allowed to change our mind. My favorite thing to do is to constantly change who I am from day to day. I don't like being stuck. I don't like having titles and labels because it makes it so that I can't grow in a certain direction. As soon as I label it, I've made it so that I'm in a box and I'm kind of trapped in that box, right? So this is about expression. And this is something where when we're allowing ourselves to express and we're allowing other people to talk around us about things they like, things that's going on there. And good, Molly, awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad. But this right here, when we're allowing other people to express their truths, this also gets stronger too. So allowing other people to speak and allowing other people to step into that space with us, okay? And then kind of once we've mastered those chakras, we move up into a higher flow. You're very, very welcome, Molly. I really liked doing that. That was fun to do. And I'm hoping everything goes well with everything else in your life too. And feel free to, if you, I don't know if you have any questions, but if there's any questions from anybody, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll just be monologuing for the next hour and a half, so be ready. Anyway, so the third chakra, or the sixth chakra, which is the third eye. See, that's where it's confusing. The sixth chakra, which is the third eye, is the chakra where we look through things. So if this is me speaking my truth to you, right? This is you being able to see beyond my truth and being able to look into the bigger picture. The bigger truth is right here. This is the third eye. This is the bigger truth. And this is different for each person. Truth is very much subjective, especially in how we view it. Your sense of truth will be different from mine. Your sense of ideals, morals, things that you do will be different than my sense. Does that mean it's wrong? No. Does that make you any less right? No, it's just different. I mean, there's some bad people out there, and obviously that shouldn't happen, but who am I to say, one way or the other? So that's what we're focusing on here. And then when all of those are lined up, we have a universal connection, a pull to this higher consciousness, which is the crown chakra, okay? When we're doing psychic work and we're linking up, or we're doing mediumship work and we're linking up, for me, generally, I feel a sensation of like static, or like something very, very fine and light is combing its fingers through my hair, kind of a feeling. I mean, it feels pretty nice, actually. And then you feel invigorated. And we, that's something we can go into as we talk more. But yeah, so are there any questions so far with anything I said, or anything that was maybe confusing? I don't want to monopolize the space completely. If there's anyone that wants to ask anything or anything like that. Yeah, it's one of those things that the more expressive we allow ourselves to become, the better we'll get at understanding our energy and other people's energy. Because I've personally come at it with a sense of fear for so long that I thought that my way of expressing myself was something that wasn't valid. And then you find out that if so-and-so can express themselves, why can't I? So this is definitely something we can focus on. So if you guys want, we can focus on a building up of the energy, kind of meditation, okay? My guides, your guides, higher selves and stuff, we can focus on just sort of making a stronger connection and sort of letting ourselves quiet down for the day and feel a little bit more calm in our lives. Would you guys be interested in doing something like that for maybe about 5 minutes? So yeah, the solar plexus, yeah, it's about willpower, and also awesome quantum. Okay, we can do that. We'll do that here in just a second. I'm going to address Denise's question here, and so the thing with self-confidence is that it is willpower. It is the solar plexus chakra, and that's also one that's needed for mediumship as an expression. And I know you're interested in mediumship, Denise. So it's kind of the best thing for self-confidence is to allow yourself to be wrong and to keep sort of messing up and have it be okay. And that takes practice. It gets easier, but you have to. Awesome. Hopefully this helps. But if I go out and I'm doing something, I need to be in a state where I'm humble enough to accept that I don't know what I'm doing, and then let myself fail. And if I keep failing over and over, there's actually some beauty in that, because at least I know I'm trying. And that can be that could just be reaching out and working with people, with strangers that you don't know, going into Facebook forums, doing things like that. If it's mediumship, if you're having self-confidence issues in general, then we can definitely look at our sense of self-expression as being valid. It's no more or no less than anyone else. Someone may have more money or prestige, but that doesn't mean that they're more valid. At the end of the day, we can't take that with us. We can't take fame with us. We can't take power. We can't take wealth with us. The only thing we can take with us is knowledge and love in the moment. And the only moment that exists is now. So we need to empower ourselves in that moment. But that being said, if we're not feeling confident, okay, that's okay. There tends to be, and it's more of that toxic positivity where it's like, you're not confident, so you need to be confident. End of story. That doesn't help anybody. Okay, that does not help anybody. If you're not confident, we need to work on confidence in a gentle way. If you're not feeling confident, me being forceful or brutal in my approach or cutting you down does not help. Does not help in any way whatsoever. We need to focus on building up confidence gently. And the way we do that, again, that's being gentle with ourselves. That's allowing ourselves to say, I'm having a hard time with this, and being like, okay, if I'm having a hard time with this, it's difficult. I'm going to do my best and try and get better. Okay. And learning about confidence, learning about psychology and confidence can help us as well. But no, tough love is the same as soft hate. That's the way I would phrase that. Tough love, soft hate. It doesn't work. Tough love does not help us because it's too brutal. It makes it like maybe that's how we were raised, but it's not how I wanted to be raised. It's not how anyone wants to be raised, because tough love is forceful. It's not free. It's not giving. It's like drinking from a cup, but at the bottom of the cup there's pieces of razor blades, or it's like you're ingesting something that's disguised as love, but it's really not. It's actually a poison, right? Yes, it does hurt more than it helps. So many times, and then being called, you're too sensitive, or you're a snowflake, or you're whatever, and it's like, no, you're just kind of a jerk. There's ways that people can express themselves, and yeah, there just needs to be education on that particular issue. But Denise, hopefully that helps with that. If you're having trouble with inability or with confidence or with anything like that, we can read books on it. We can do different things, but just be gentle with yourself in the process. Awesome. I'm glad that helps, Denise. Okay, so we're gonna be, man, it's coming down. It's really snowing. I'm just stretching here for a second. Okay, so again, anything else? Any other questions? Or yeah, there's a sense of detachment there for sure. And I as a man, right, have had a very, very difficult time getting in touch with my emotions. But I realized I had to, because of, if you're doing mediumship or psychic ability, you have to be in touch with the feminine side. But the world in general will shift, in my opinion. It has to. We're moving into a world now where people are held more responsible for things that they've done. And we're going to move into a world where I think gentleness will eventually be more of the norm. Yeah, there's emotions, there's feelings. We were given them for a reason, absolutely. Emotion is energy in motion, right? Emotion is movement. Emotion is life. And in between In between, we have the yin and the yang. The only reason we can have yin and yang, yes, calm is always good, absolutely. The reason why we have yin and yang is it's a duality universe that we live in. So what that means is we have an extreme opposite here, we have an extreme opposite here. I want you to imagine it like surface pressure on the water, okay? Or like friction. So the yin and the yang are going around each other, and there's that spot in the middle, that's that white and black spot in the middle. That's where we exist as people. We have good, we have bad, positive, negative, light, dark, male, female. There's a lot of duality, and all of it is expression. And in the middle of the expression, in the middle of that, that's where we learn our lessons. That's where we are. When we're balanced, we can learn the lessons easier. But if we're too far left or too far right, and I don't mean in a political sense necessarily, if we're too far left or too far right, it makes it so that it's very, very hard for us to see a point of view that's over here or a point of view that's over here. We have to be in the center so that we can see and feel what's around us. And feeling is the hugely important part, especially if we're empathic. We have to let ourselves express what we're feeling, express how we're feeling it. And the more we evolve as empaths, that feeling becomes stronger, and we can start to take we have to start to take more responsibility for our actions and how we interact in the world. Because in my personal opinion, the more psychic or the more energetically attuned we get, the more we can affect the world and reality. And we have to take responsibility for that and put some good out in there. Does that make sense to you guys? Some of this is stuff I've heard before. Some of it is my own kind of teaching that I have, and I just want to know if it makes sense so that I'm at least not losing you. Okay, good. Okay, so let's focus here. Awesome. I'm glad it's making sense. So let's focus here on bringing in some good energy. Okay, so all right. The best way for us to do this, I think, would be for me to stand up, walk around a little bit, get some energy flowing here. So you guys don't have to do this, but if you want to, you're more than welcome. Let's get it going here. So I'll move my chair over. Can you imagine if I just did this and I left and you guys were just looking at the screen for like 15 minutes and I was just going, anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow ourselves to feel some energy, okay? And I know I said meditation, but also this is important too. So we're going to be focusing on bringing in positive energy. And if you guys can do this now, that's great. If you can't do this now, you can come back later and watch this video. I've done it in a video, but it's been a while since I've done it. So I want you to, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Denise. I want you to do this as you feel you're comfortable doing this, okay? So humans, we have an energy that's around us, okay? And generally it's from the heart space. A lot of stuff is from the heart. So in order for us to access this energy, I want you to imagine around us, it's like a donut. Okay, this is a torus, is what it's called, T-O-R-U-S. This is an energy field that is, yeah, this one here is Hazel. She's a cute one. So this here is, like I said, T-O-R-U-S. It's a torus. It's an energy field. So if we're going like this, okay, I want us to, we breathe in, okay, like this. We go, we stop right where the heart is, okay? Right when we stop, we go like, we breathe out. So we'll do this again. And then we go up above our heads and go. Okay. So now that's going to do a couple things. Okay. So that's going to allow ourselves, I'm just pulling my pants up here. That's going to allow ourselves to express the energy to its fullest extent. But we're drawing in energy, and then we're getting rid of what no longer serves us. And then we're going from there. I don't want to hit that out lamp, so I'm going to move back a little bit. So again, we go. And emphasize when you're breathing out. The reason why I'm making this sound is I'm emphasizing, I'm allowing myself to breathe, but I'm kind of doing it loud too because I'm expressing that energy. I'm getting it out. So we bring up energy. And that gives us a sense of completing a grounding exercise, a light grounding exercise, but one that can help us ground ourselves. You generally do that about 8 times. And then from there, you're feeling usually pretty good. It helps, at least in my opinion. Sorry, guys. Okay. So moving on to the actual meditation part, we can get into that. So as we're doing this meditation, I want the intention of the meditation to be focusing more on allowing ourselves to be content in the moment. Okay. The thing with meditation is that it seems great when you're meditating. When meditation is great from when you're meditating, and it can help out with the rest of the day. But what I want us to do is we're bringing our attention to the present moment. And then we take that with us through the rest of the day. As we do that, as we get comfortable doing that, it allows us to live more and more in the present. So that's something I want us to focus on. We're going to bring our attention to the now. And the way we do that is by following the breath. The breath takes us from the past into the present moment, or into the present moment. So that's why breathing is such a huge thing in these spiritual practices, is because it puts us into our body, which puts us into the present moment, because we can be too up here and not enough down here. Okay, hopefully that's making sense for you guys. All right, so moving into the present moment, we're going to allow ourselves to just breathe. Okay, you guys can do this with me, and you don't even have to be looking at the screen. Just allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to follow the breath, and allow yourselves to relax. Okay, unless you're driving, in which case, please pay attention to the road. There you go. Yeah, the both. Yep. It's good to be in both. Sometimes it's good to just be in one or the other, but now we're focusing our attention on just being more physical, bringing that breath up, okay? So I want you guys, I'm doing this right here to show you where we're starting. And we can start from the stomach too, but we bring in the breath. Okay, and I'll show a motion while I'm doing this to show you this cycle. So bring in a breath. And allow yourself to feel that sense of calm, right? And then we'll get into the actual meditation. I'm just getting us to breathe. I'm getting us to sort of move around a little bit if we need to. But let's do it again. So let's breathe. And just allow yourself to be in that moment as we're breathing. So we're following the breath. The breath is interesting. It leads us to each moment. The breath links all the moments together, because without breathing, we wouldn't have a future or a past to speak of. And while we're breathing, it's the present moment. But it's a continuing gift of present moments. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on. All right, so this meditation, we're going to be focusing on the heart, like we've said before. And I want you guys to imagine, as we're focusing on the heart, as we're focusing on this space, that we're focusing on a sense of feeling safe, feeling comfortable, and feeling like whatever it is we're about to do for the day, even if it's just unwinding or even if it's just reading a book, we're going to thoroughly enjoy. We're going to thoroughly let ourselves sink into the experience of life, get involved in the senses, let ourselves be grounded in the moment. All right, so let's start. I want you guys to close your eyes, and as you do, I want you to just be thinking, be feeling that pulse in your chest. Okay, we're feeling that pulse, we're feeling that life-giving energy, the heartbeat, and we're going to focus on quieting that heartbeat, lessening it a little bit more, relaxing into that feeling. All right, so let's bring our breath into it. Eyes closed. Again, unless you're driving, in which case please keep them open. But let's focus again. Let's breathe. All right. Now, as you guys are relaxed, your eyes are closed, we're feeling the moment, we're feeling the present, we're feeling that breath, right? Continue to breathe, continue to be calm, and just allow yourself to feel the breath, to feel the presence of that. So as we're focusing on that, I want you guys to just allow yourselves to fall deeper and deeper into that. And then we're going to be focusing on giving some energy too. So this can feel different to different people. We could be feeling a warm sensation, tingles, cold. There's a lot of different ways that energy likes to express itself. So we're going to be focusing on allowing the energy to express itself however it wants. There's no good, there's no bad. We're just going to let it be what it is and allow ourselves to feel that sense of energy. Allow ourselves to feel that sense of just expressionistic potential. Okay, so just allow yourselves to fall into that state, to stay into that state. And me and my guides will be sending you guys some energy if that's okay, if that's in your permission. I'm asking permission now, but you guys can say in an individual basis in your heads if you're willing to accept the energy or not. If you're not willing to accept it, that's absolutely fine. But it's there if you guys are wanting it. And this energy is going to be something that helps heal and helps us feel whole and helps us feel a sense of release from the things that have been bogging us down. Okay, so with that being said, let's focus and let's feel this energy. All right. I'll be quiet for this, just focusing on the energy, and you guys just allow yourselves to relax and feel. All right, now everybody, allow yourselves to come back, be in the present moment again, and open your eyes, stretch, do whatever you guys need to do. It's just a little bit of a meditation to help get you guys into a hopefully quiet space. A good little relaxation for you guys. And the reason we do energy, and hopefully you guys, if you want, you can say if you felt something or if you didn't, but hopefully you guys can take that. The reason why I like to use energy and I like to send my guides out to you is so that you can realize that through feeling that energy, you can get yourself back to that state where you're relaxing again. Energy is a sensation, right? When we go back to that sensation and we feel that sensation again, we can get to that relaxation state again. So that's what energy, that's at least what I'm hoping to do, is for you guys to be able to feel something and to be able to go back to that, imagine that sensation again and be able to feel it again and to step into that energetic presence, right? A safe space for you, so to speak. You guys can tell me what you thought of that, and then we can go into some other stuff here, but I'll just be quiet and I'll be waiting to hear from you guys a little bit. So that's definitely something I would want to do more, but I'm not sure if you guys appreciate it that much. So if it's just cards you guys want to do, we can definitely focus more on that, but I always want to give back to you guys a little more. But I will shuffle the cards here, and we'll focus on what that did for our energy fields with these cards, okay? You're very welcome, Denise. I need to look into doing a guided meditation. That would be an adventure, I think. Okay, so after that, let's see what our energy looks like, or what's going on. Okay. All right, so we have the page of water, or cups, the page of cups, and then we have the world card, and they're actually pretty similar right here. So the page of cups and the world card is definitely allowing ourselves to feel that emotion. Maybe we're a little cautious with it. We're a little cautious with allowing ourselves to feel this emotion, allowing ourselves to feel this presence. But I do feel like it's giving us something in return, and it's giving us a new way to look at the world. It's giving us a new way to experience the world in a more calm, serene sort of state, right? From calmness, we don't get off balance as easy. So that's what I want to establish with you guys, is through calmness, there is balance. There's a sense of, I've got this, right? So that's what we're focusing on here. I can look at these other cards too, but I think those are very beautiful cards for the experience that we had. Allowing ourselves to feel that sense of emotional freedom, or a sense of emotional identity would be the word that just popped into my head. So allowing ourselves to feel that new sense of emotional identity and to fully appreciate it for what it is, okay? But let's look what these cards have to say too. shuffle here. Okay. Again, it's the silver waterfall. Again, this card comes up constantly with you guys. So that's something moving forward, that's something we can focus on. Allowing ourselves to express, to bring that energy, to put it outward. We have to start by changing ourselves first, because that's the only thing we can do in this world. We change ourselves, and then we can give the rest of that to the world. But we can't change other people. We just can change us. So, yeah. I'm going to light another incense, and we'll continue doing some talking here. But I'm going to light another incense. So hold your horses. Let's see. Where's the... All right. So these ones are really interesting. These are San Pedro. These actually smell pretty good. It's hard to describe smell, so I'm not even going to try. Trust me, I like these ones at least. And I have a little... this is a little bit different. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen something like this. So this is a plasma lighter. So if I go up to the camera here, there's a little thing of it's like an electricity kind of thing that goes through it. So this is a rechargeable lighter. It just has that plasma that comes out, and it's interesting. I'm still wondering if I like it, but there we go. So give me a second here, guys. I'm trying to get this lit up. It's taking a minute. Let me do you guys a favor, and I'll go out and I'll grab the other lighter, because then that way it works a little bit better. So you guys hold your horses for a minute. I'll be back. We can't be doing this without having some good smells. Okay. Well, that is all right. I don't have another lighter. I wish I could light it, but I can't. So we'll just focus on this for what it is. I still do like the incense though. San Pedro. You guys can look into that if you want. The brand is HEM. Hem. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Okay, so any questions, you guys? Anything we're wondering about, or anything going into that? If not, that's okay too. I just like to ask you guys so that it's not, again, it's not just me monologuing. Yeah, this new energy that we're coming into, the age of Aquarius, right? This is going to be all about the digital age, the information age. There's a thing that my partner likes to say, that you can learn anything you want now in this age. You just have to decide if you want to put the time into learning it. Because you can take courses online. You can learn anything you want to learn. You just have to decide if you have the time to learn it or if you want to make the time to learn it, right? And so it gives you really no excuse to be lazy in this world. If there is something you really want to do, you can do it. And that's kind of going to be the energy of this age, is where we're focusing on information. We're focusing on bringing in information. The golden age, or the age of Aquarius, is definitely that. And already the financial system has been shown to change. There's a lot of different things going on in the world where things really are changing, and the spiritual abilities of people will continue to shoot up and up. And it's not going to be just a little bit here and there. The veil, as people call it, is thinning to the point of well, I don't think it'll be too much longer before there's going to be some extreme gifts that I don't think people can really deny anymore. But we'll see what that looks like in the future. But yeah, I think more and more people are going to be expressing the, let's see, what book is it? Okay, so I mentioned books a lot, so I'll show you this one here. I have a bookcase of all the things that I find fascinating or interesting in book form, which is because it is a bookcase. Anyway, so this, super normal, okay? This talks about science, yoga, and the evidence for extraordinary psychic abilities, okay? So the way a person works, and I've mentioned this before, but for those that haven't heard it, mention it again. The way I understand this to work is psychic ability, mediumship ability is a feminine ability, meaning it's receptive. So what that means is that it doesn't affect the world outwardly, okay? There are people in the United States, we have the indigo children, is what they're called. I think North America, around that spot. But in other parts of the world, I think Asia and similar places like that, you have what are called super psychics. Okay, so the super psychics, that's the masculine. That's the masculine representation. So the indigo children are feminine. They're going to be really good psychics. They're going to be really good mediums. They're going to be really good in the spiritual realm. The masculine side is the super psychics. And what that means is that they can affect the physical world. We're talking telekinesis, aerokinesis, things like that. What's called a warm former, which are people that can warm up. There's different stories, but they can warm up metal and they can bend it, like almost like steel beams. They can warm it up with their hands and they can bend it. They can make it malleable. It's really interesting stuff. But this right here talks about some interesting things. So the Siddhis, which I've mentioned before, Siddhis, okay? Siddhis are the psychic abilities perfected. So there's no room for error. There's no fault. It literally means perfect psychic ability or perfect ability. And so I think there's 23 different ways that these perfections can exist, because that's what it technically is. But it's really fascinating stuff. Do you guys want me to talk more about this? Do you want to focus on the cards? Let me know if you guys want me to talk more about this or the cards or whatever's going on. Because I go on tangents, so I'd like to know you guys are interested. My golly, I'm going to try lighting it again. Yeah. That won't light. Well, I'll continue talking about it then. So the siddhis are generally expressed through meditation, right? And I think Buddha even made mention of something similar where he said, interested in both. Okay. So we'll do some of this, and then I can do some more cards here in a second. So the siddhis are psychic expressions perfected. So you're looking at having perfect mediumship or having perfect psychic ability. And when I say perfect, I mean being able to read the energy field without any mistakes, being able to see into something to the wholeness of its self, being able to express the personality of whatever is coming through to you articulately and perfectly in that sense. Generally, a yogi or someone who has spent their whole life trying to attain one of these, they usually attain maybe one, sometimes two. And it gets pretty interesting. Like I said, there's 23 different ones, and they have it where they enter a meditation state. And once they enter that state, anything that they visualize, they kind of absorb and they become it, and then they can express an ability through that. Some of them, like if you see the sun in your mind's eye, right? You focus on the sun. You can then go into a macrocosmic view of the universe, and you can look at all sorts of different worlds, and you can basically see everything from that perspective. You can zoom in, you can see different things, you can experience different things. The other one is if you focus on like there's one that's macrocosmic, and then there's one that's microscopic or microcosm. And that one's interesting too. And someone by the name, I think the name was Charles Ledbetter, who was a proficient psychic medium. I believe it was him and Madame Blavatsky in the 1800s, because spiritualism in the 1800s was insane. People had incredible gifts. I mean, it was crazy, but he was able to look at cells in the human body, to look at diseases and different things through his mind's eye. And this was before a microscope ever existed. This was before all that kind of stuff. And he was able to see some crazy stuff. And I need to read a little bit more up on him. I used to have all the stuff memorized, but it's been a while since I've talked about it. It's interesting stuff though. But you're going to be seeing more and more people coming into the world that are going to be able to express abilities that it's going to be a lot harder for people to look at and say, I don't know about that. It's going to be something where at first spirituality comes across as kind of a whisper. I think we're starting to get to a point where it's not going to be yelling, but it's going to be a lot louder than it has been. And the way it can be expressed will be louder too. Again, these are my thoughts, but definitely feel there's a shift coming, and I feel like it's a positive shift for those of us that are ready. And for those of us that aren't, I'm hoping it's gentle enough to just sort of shake them a little bit, wake them up, and because it would be nice to live in a world where other people didn't constantly doubt the existence of a very large part of ourselves. Imagine if someone said, or imagine if someone told you could only use the right side of your body for everything. There's a whole left side of yourself that's never used for anything. That's kind of what I feel now. We're denying a huge part of our own existence to make other people feel comfortable, I guess. I mean, I don't get it, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put this book back. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's really interesting stuff. And again, let's see if I can... Okay. The power of now. I wonder if I even have that. I might have that one. I'm not really sure. Camera's on that. There we go. I might have that one. I'm not sure. The power of now. Who's the author of that one? Denise, because I am not sure. I can even look it up here. Oh, Eckhart Tolle. So I don't know if you say it Tolle or Tolle. I think it's Tolle. I actually haven't read that one, so I'm not sure that much about it. But a lot of people seem to like his work, so probably would be a good one to read. It looks like it's pretty long, though. I think it says it's 500 pages. The way I think it's meant to go is like this. If you get a book, you understand some of what's being said, but you don't understand all of it. It might be meant for you to read more of it later and understand it a little bit more. Because when I start reading, especially if I'm learning something new or I'm learning something that's a little bit more advanced, I'm not going to understand all of it. So what I do is I just say, you know what? I'm going to be a little sponge. I'm going to learn as much as I can, retain as much as I can, and go from there. But I think you're meant to understand what you're meant to understand, and we shouldn't try and force anything that's hard for us to grasp at the time. I believe in flowing with it, and yeah, so again, that's my take on it, but yeah. But I've got a few other books. Actually, I think it's right behind here, by You Are Psychic, and the author's last name is Katz, K-A-T-Z. That's a really good book. If you guys are looking for starting into psychic ability, I think it's Deborah Katz, so K-A-T-Z, and it's You Are Psychic book, and it is a phenomenal. Helped me a lot when I was first starting out, and it's very factual. It's very good. It's just, as far as psychic learning goes, that's a really good one, if you guys are wondering. But any other questions or anything you guys want to talk about? I can go into doing some more card stuff, but again, if you guys want to talk, you want to say something, go for it. We have a few people here that haven't said a whole lot, and so now's your time if you guys want to talk or if you want to do something that way. Okay, we'll do a little bit more cards here, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Shuffle these up. And if you guys do, I know it's probably just Quantum and Denise here now. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, if you could donate, that would mean a lot. You guys don't have to, but if you could, that would help out a ton. But again, you guys don't have to. I understand, especially right now, money's probably a little tight. Okay, let's shuffle these cards here. And let's look into, let's see. Let's look into just kind of the energy going into, because we did February 6th, February 17th, February 18th. Let's look at February 19th. So that would be, I think that would be Friday. Let's look at Friday's energy. Yeah, go for it, Denise. Look into them and just, I think the best thing you can do is just to buy the books, look into something, but don't feel pressured to read it and to understand all of it. Just let yourself slowly digest the information. That's always the best way to learn, at least in my opinion. Okay. Okay. Really going to shuffle these cards to try and get something that's not what we've been having. So let's look at these cards here. Okay, so on Friday, we're going to be looking at the Eight of Swords, okay? And then we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So Friday is going to be a day where we could be putting ourselves into a mental state where we're not allowing ourselves to fully see the picture, where maybe we're thinking someone's lying to us, or maybe we're lying to ourselves, but we're trapping ourselves in a situation where we're not seeing the full picture for what it is, okay? And the reason why I think this is happening is because we're looking into reparenting ourselves, okay? So reparenting yourself is the act of kind of going into things that have happened in your life, bad memories, traumatic memories, or not bad, but traumatic memories, right? We go into those memories and we imagine having someone there that's more caring. Generally, it's us stepping into that role and reparenting ourselves. We're coming in and we acted the way that we would have wanted to have acted, right? We act the way we would have wanted to be treated in that moment. So if it was a very tender moment, instead of being met with harsh criticism, we're met with a loving tone or a loving voice or just a hug, right? Just something to show physical contact, to show that we're appreciated and we're valid in that moment. So when I see this in reverse, though, it means that we're not taking the steps we need to. Maybe we're halting our own journey of healing, which is okay. We can take breaks from healing, but maybe it's time to pick that up again and to say that it's okay for us to love ourselves and for us to appreciate ourselves. Because this is a very beautiful card, I think. Very nice, very tender, and you'll see that it's the woman holding herself as a little girl, coming up and showing something there. So that's something we need to focus on. Letting ourselves be in the moment, feeling the pain that was caused there, feeling the discomfort that was caused, but also allowing ourselves to just be in the moment for what it is, and to just let ourselves be sad, and to let ourselves feel that it's okay and we're heard and we're valid for our own emotions. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for Friday. So the next few days could be a little rough, but it's nothing we can't handle. It's just sort of bringing things to the surface, and especially where it's Mercury in retrograde. And Mercury in retrograde is getting ready to end here before too long. I'm thinking it's going out with a little bit more of a bang than a whimper. So that's what I'm seeing here, you guys. Okay. If there's any questions, feel free to ask, or if you guys are wondering anything, we can go into that. But that's definitely what I'm seeing for us. So And I'm reading these cards in my situation too. It's not all sunshine and peaches. Sometimes there's a little bit that has to go on for us to learn some lessons, and that's good. Because I feel like we'll eventually learn them. You too, Denise. You have a great night. And take care. I'll try and be here a lot more often than I have been, but you go take care and stay safe. Okay. Okay. All right, who's here left with me? You don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but I'm just curious who's here left. All right. Well, so moving on into this that we're doing here. We've looked at the energies for the week, and I'll probably come back again on maybe Friday and kind of see what's going on that way. But got a little bit of time before my laptop decides to die. So if there's anything that you're curious in talking about, mysterious person that's out there, we can look into that. Or we can just kind of have it fizzle out here. If you want, we can just say goodbye and go our separate ways. But I just want to give you an opportunity here because no one else is here. So if there's something you want to say, go for it. If not, that's okay too. There is no pressure. Oh, I almost dropped those cards. Taking questions if anyone has questions. We can go into questions. We can do whatever needs to be done. My name is Chance, by the way. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm just going to put my name out there. Chance, I do psychic work, I do mediumship, and also the tarot cards. These right here are the, let's see, these are the true love cards. Okay, so these are used for answering love questions, and then I have the true black tarot. I just realized they both have true in them, but the true black tarot is really good. These cards are absolutely gorgeous. I'll show you guys some of the art. The ones I really like. So that one there is the Sun card. Beautiful card. I mean, that's a gorgeous card, I think. And then we have, my favorite one is Temperance. And the Lover's card is really cool too. That's a really nice card, I think. And then we have this card here. So this card, if I can find it, because I want to make sure to show you guys the cards that are really interesting. That one's pretty cool. Nice looking card. That one is the Empress. Really like that one. Let me look here and I'll find. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I also like the Magician card too. This is Temperance though. And I mean, it's just a gorgeous card, I think. And if you look, I gotta tilt the card just right. You can kind of see a yin yang above her head. Right now, though, the light's not. There we go. So you can see a yin yang above her head. And the way these cards are, they're just so gorgeously done. And you can also buy prints like posters. Really love the work. And I have the Magician actually framed in my room, which sounds like I'm getting ready to have someone arrested. But no. But yeah, I've got that one framed in my room. Really, really like that one. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? And also, welcome to the channel. Yeah, so these cards here, really nice. A little bit more expensive, right? But I think it's worth it for me because if I have a deck of cards that I really like using, then it makes it so that it's more fun to express that. But so moving on, is there any questions, you guys? Anything you guys are wondering? Any questions? Anything moving forward? And I do hope things are going well for you, Linda. I hope there's... I like to talk to you guys as much as I can about this, about tarot or about psychic ability, whatever it is moving forward. Because I know right now in these times, especially, it's a little crazy. It's a little different than how it's been before. With the virus and different things going on, it makes it kind of hard to understand our place in this world sometimes. Okay. So, yeah, give me just a second. I gotta go grab my charger for my laptop real quick.